Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become Messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the Earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become. In being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 587th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 24th, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, of course, we have Mr. Mehran T. Keshe as our main presenter and teacher today. So please go ahead, Mr. Keshe, with what you have to present.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. We welcome you back as usual, and as usual, give you more headache for you to solve. The headache of it today is that if you had a head, to have a headache. In the process of the teaching, over past decades, we try to bring a lot of parallels, a lot of understanding that one not only becomes aware of the potential within himself or within oneself, one becomes aware of how to reach this, how to be able to expand the knowledge of the fields of the body of the man. We know everything, how to use our fingers and toes and leg and heart and ears and eyes and do everything else with it. But now we have to understand the classification, magnetic field strength, of which part connects to what, and how we can use this as part of the structure of the work, that we become part of the structure of the energy side of the universe. The biggest problem for mankind has been that they look at the state of the physicality of the man at the end state, where actually we are part of the structure of the going through, as we said many times before. Now we have to realize, we have to come to the point of understanding that putting matters together, having the matters together, does not make the use of the matter. Till we shape it, till we give it the dimension and direction. We have iron, we have copper, we have zinc. They are individual elements and we can individually pack them together. But when we mix them together as alloys and we melt them, and all we bring them in a condition of whatever, then we put them in a shape, we put them in a box, we make a material out of them. Then the purpose of the material is evident. We say there is so much copper in it, so much zinc in it, so much iron in it, and the rest of it. But in the world of the energy side, we have to say this strength gives copper, this strength of field gives zinc, this strength gives the iron. In the matter state, we speak about tangibility, observation point of view. In the dimension of the energy of the universe, we speak about magnetic field strength. But due to, in any shape or form you put it, magnetic field strength again has accumulation, again has packages, but in fact it has the totality. A plasma of an electron, a plasma of a proton, a plasma of a neutron, a plasma of the fundamental element has the same field strength spectrum as is in the other. It's the volume, the speed of, the connection of. And so what this means, an electron has a magnetic field strength which connects to proton, and has a magnetic field which connects it to neutral. And then, in the spectrum of the fields it has, it connects it to the next element, to the next electron, to the next alloy, to the next position in the universe. What this means? This means in a way that an electron of the atom of a hydrogen has the same connection as the soul of the man. The same number of fields. No less, no more. Is the choice of which strength connects with what gives the manifestation of the appearance, manifestation of cooperation of connection, and the rest of it. This is important because when it comes for our transmutation from A to B, every position, every stone, every entity on the surface of the planet or position in the universe has a strength which our soul, which our system already has a connection with. This is not theoretical. This is how we are all connected to each other. The common denominator, field strength, which connects everything, is the line of the strength of the Creator, which we all have a connection to because it's the way we came, that's our direction of the process of the division or whatever. But every sand on the desert of this planet has a specific magnetic field that every soul on this planet has a connection to. Magnetic field, plasma, GPS positioning, and recognition. If man understands this, if man goes to the next step of understanding the whole process, then in the mosaic of the field strength of the universe, we can decide exact position, exact place, not by 5 meters out the way the GPSs are today, to this exact point in a spot we can travel to. We do it in our dream, you call it, with our mother and father, which passed decades ago. In this vast universe, we know where they are. Because we have a dream about them, Mom, because you cannot dream if it wasn't a reality of connection of the soul. She tells you, would you like a cup of coffee? I made you the food you need, how you like, and don't talk to your wife, talk to your husband, and whatever else. She's aware of all your behavior. She's aware of all your problems. She's aware of everything which happens in your life. Because when you connect to that magnetic field, you connect to full spectrum of all. Every single cell, every connection which my cell made in the past 24 hours. When I dreamt the mom the day before, she comes again and says, you went to that place, it wasn't good. Mom, how do you know you died 20 years ago? How do you know what I did yesterday? Because that magnetic field is connected, has a specific strength, has a specific direction and dimension, has a specific field strength, which once is established, is never destroyed. It never has what you call misplaced. Then those of you who are hypocrites, they say, oh, so I have connection to every soul and sand on the moon. Yes, you do. In the coming days, next maybe 24 hours, maybe by Monday, we will run a session with a number of you. And we have set up that parameter in the materials you have received. Because the next lot of you, you're going to hit it on the 2nd of May. And we use the 7 of you to put together the right direction in the right process, in the right manner. In understanding this, then the mystery of how do I know where what it is solved. Your problem is, how do I know the magnetic field of the sand on the surface of the moon? Because we all came from the same division, we came from the same position. We all have connection. In the session which will run in the next few days, we dictate a lot. We want to know how much we can control the whole structure from our end, and how you find us. It's a hide and seek game. The beauty of it is, we'll be interested to see if we can pull you by the leg or we can take you by the head. Do you feel landed or do you think you flew? Now the technology is at that level that we don't talk, we can control. We have all the parameters in our hand to play a game with you. For you to understand that the field strength, you work magnetical through your head, you play gravitational through your leg. Then it comes, how do we recognize? As we said last time, every entity has a magnetical and gravitational passing each other, part of it. This is what the world of science has never taught us. The world of science has never managed, because they never understood. Their biggest question in the world of the science of today, what most of the scientists in the world of what I call gibberish science man has made for himself, they do not want to understand a simple proposition. And what is this proposition? What does it actually brings us? And the reality is, as we have said many times before, that the structure of the life on this planet has a process. And as this is the plasma, as you call it a magnetical, where we didn't know it comes from the southern, and all your knowledge seekers know it finds its way, it's the same line. And if it feel the strength of the plasma of the hydrogen, which is in the center of it, it gets some more energies added to it. Then it comes out a stronger dimension. But the most probable part, which we never been told, is this. It's not all going north out, it's going stronger, coming south in. And where this mix-up takes place in field strength, creates the rotation of the electron, rotation of the proton, rotation of planet, rotation of the galaxies. It's the field strength which we have always ignored this part, due to our education, due to what they have taught us in the world of the science of today. We look at a map, we look at the magnetic field, everything goes like this. No, it doesn't. Because in fact, it's the other way too, which is coming into. You come in as much as you go out. The difference between the two creates a magnetic field positioning of interaction of the totality of the element in dimension of the universal position. This is how your magnetical gravitational positioning decided. Not by the field just coming and going and interacting. The field strength, the gap between the magnetic fields, which we see by iron dust when we use a magnet, that gap is where it's going out. And that gap is where it's coming out and in, depending on the position and the place. And the beauty of it is that every single one of these is connected to something, somewhere. This knowledge of the magnetic field, when even we look at a magnetic field, in the dimension of the space, time, and position, we have to always consider, let me put this in a way that you don't get confused. Every magnetic field traveling the span of the universe possesses a twin system of gravitational to it in respect to the position. The space gap position is the space gap position between the two entities. If the balance between the two is calculated in a direct line, you will know what is a space gap is. You can predetermine. And then in the totality of the knowledge in the future, when man becomes wise to more knowledge of the space of the plasma, working of the plasma, man will find something very interesting. And that is, I have to correct my mistake. And that is that this one. That now the space gap between the average of this one and this one dictates the position in respect to each other, and position that it moves one in respect to another. This knowledge of understanding each magnetic field has equal and opposite magnetic field, gravitational to it, then we take man to the next step of the knowledge of the universe. You know this as knowledge seekers very well. You've seen it, you have played it, maybe never understood it. When we played the star formation, the magnetic gravitational field gap between these is irrelevant, because in totality, how they interact with each other decide the position of the controlling field. And in the interaction of these with themselves dictates the position, dimension of the whole entity as a whole. We call this singularity of, we call this the mass of, we call this the weight of. And once we understand this, once we understand the process of the interaction of the field in gravitational and magnetical of the same field strength, man will open a new chapter in the world of science and technology of the creation. In a way, you put a female and a male together, what do you get? A middle range, a child. This child now has a new strength of its own, a new dimension of its own. You have to find the soul of it. You have to find the field strength of the common denominator between the two. But somewhere down the line, this line and this line both connect to the Creator. Creator of the structure. It could be a body of the man, it could be a body of the galaxy, it could be a body of the universe, it could be a body of the universe. This is in the world of chemistry, you call it isotopes. In the world of energy, we call it field strength difference. If the magnetical and the gravitational field strength varies slightly, now you have a different position slightly. These two, in their interaction with what they create, imbalance in origin of the line, the middle line, will decide itself if I'm going with this strength or if I'm going with this strength. And then the interaction of the field between these decisions will interact with this and decides which way the two will go with each other with the matter object we create. If you can replicate this, understand this, just don't ever look at the magnetic field, look at this gravitational field at the same time, find the strength of it, then man has entered, as I said, into the real world of the position, dimension, field strength, transportation, transmutation, anything he likes. This has one advantage. If man understands the process of the addition of the field strength, somewhere in between can interact, create a field which can add to this or take from this, which can change the direction of the motion of itself. And now this new entity is a parallel of this and a parallel of this, and in how it decides to go is with another entity which lives next door with the same dilemma. The space technology of today does not have no limitation on matter structure, because it's you who decides what gravitational magnetic field is between the two, and then this decide what matter is created in interaction with the fields of its environment. Up to now, we said this is the table of the chemistry of the materials, and that's it. There are other materials, we call it fancy materials. There are other materials, we call them rare earth materials. There are other materials which we might produce one day. If you understand this principle, you can produce it any day. You don't need to go in the depth of the universe to find a new material, because you understood the process of the creation, you understand the process of field of magnetical and gravitational interaction with each other, you can create any matter. This is how we have created structure of materials. We are trying to 10th, 11th and 12th of May to show the showcases of Keshe Foundation internationally, worldwide, in an open demonstration for the world to see. One of the structures of this is production of the elements of the universe even we do not know exist. All of you can come and see it. Travel the span of the planet and see for the first time the knowledge will be confronted, put right across the whole of the planet to see. Change in the world of science and technology, cosmic rays, understanding of the new technology which allows us to create materials which we could not imagine even exist. We have to rewrite the tables, because this material, we don't know what it is, we have to find its value. In the past, Few days in the laboratories of the Keshe Foundation, we have developed a material. We ourselves puzzled, wondered what this material is. And we are producing it in mass. We are creating it in mass. It's very easy because now we have to find magnetic field, the strength of this material. Known. It's unknown material to us. We have to find its gravitational magnetic field and is growing like mushroom. Does any of you know what this is? Because we have developed a new material. And look, it's falling off the sky. What is this material? Do we have the knowledge? Do we know what it is? Is it a chalk? Is it candy? Is it nano of a material manifested itself in this condition? And as you can see on our tables, it's a lot of it. But the funny thing is, this thing is created near the latest flight system which is developed by the Keshe Foundation. Our system creates a specific gravitational magnetic field with the interaction of the plasma of the planet creates a new material. I know what it is because there are certain characteristics. As we know, you see the dust on the table. There's a little fly there on the table. You can see everything else. And you can see the size in comparison. As the gravitational field of the system has led to the demise of this animal. To what extent the system is creating its dimension. We don't have chemistry labs in the universe, but we have understanding of the magnetic field of the universe, which we can make in chemistry. Is understanding the science of creation, not by imagination, but by reality of understanding the totality of it. Is this the future of the man entering an atmosphere, dying because he doesn't understand? It did not comprehend, it did not create the field of, or like the other animals we have in our oceans and our environment, adopt, become, we have. And what do we say to them? The most funniest thing that the biologists tell us, this animal is from ancient time. No, this animal doesn't belong to this planet. That's why you call it ancient time, because you never understood this animal has adapted itself to life on this planet. That's why you cannot find the background to it. It has jumped in, has managed to find magnetic fields of the planet, the environment of this planet, that can connect to its soul, that the soul allows the physicality to live in the shape and the form of a matter state in the plasma condition of the entity of this life. Aliens are not just those who land here in the aircrafts or in a UFO. Aliens were by field strength passing through as a body of the entity of life. on this planet become a stone. This is what man has to understand. This is what should not be the future of man in space. What is and how is and to what extent do we understand the knowledge of creation depends on how we understand the interaction of the fields of the universe. Why this matter is taking shape. It didn't fall off the sky, this shape. It started like one of these dusts. And life in the womb of the mother has managed to gather enough that is made this shape. When I made these materials for the first time, nearly 2 decades ago, I wondered, how do I respect them? I didn't throw them out. They're still carried in a box somewhere in our laboratories. Alive, 20 years old, sitting in the box. One of the first things we did when we set up the new flight system, we put papers around. What are we creating? When you look at the new flight system set up for flight, which will be shown sooner or later, is my habit. I can't hold secrets, or in a way keep a lot of things out of it, but I keep a lot of secrets from it because man is not ready for it. We have developed the technology. We have developed the technology, which means a working system which can create food, energy, gas, motion, emotion, water, and everything else. We have created the planet Earth. When you sit in the panel, in front of the panel, you see the weight of it, you see the gases it produces, you see the energy, voltage, you see everything, the magnetic field strength. It shakes, we know. But man is not ready for such a system unless we hit the man in the head with to be seen, to understand, to be taken further. This is the future of man in space. And only thing which will stop man to become passenger of the universe is his own ego, his own lack of understanding, and denying the truth about his own creation. The most beautiful thing for me, if you understand it, is this shape. How you see different sizes appear, different shapes appear, and how this will look in the orbit of the elements. Understanding the totality of the process, understanding of what you create in what direction. If you understand this process, if you understand this creation of material in this shape, and we create an environmental condition, then you see how the rings of Saturn are created, how meteorites and asteroids are created in the environment of the body of the planet. We call them asteroids, we call them meteoroids. What about the ones which travel between the galaxies? What about those which become matter state between the universes? We call them universoid or cosmosoid. At the end, we have to understand what they are, because one of these little things enters with energy inside your brain, you're done. You go from cat to a mouse because the energy level of the inside has changed. Dynamic structure of the magnetic field dynamic structure of the interaction of the magnetic field, dynamic structure of the outcome of their interactions, it always leads to creation of new material, new dimensions. It's you who have to understand. It's you who has to go into the depth of understanding which field in my body, in my soul, in the strength of plasma field of me, will connect with which one of these stones and which one of these materials. Can I create? And when I create, would one of these stones will move? What is my position with this? And with the new system we have, it's not preset anymore. We set what we want, the way we want, how we want, and as an independent energy source, we dictate the gravitational fields and magnetical fields in any dimension as a field or a ray. Which means if we tune to the magnetic field of a ray which are connected to us, you go wherever we go. We are the caravan like camels, one connected to the other. We're going to test this theory the following week on the 2nd of May, because the 6-7 people which are in this group become the herdsman for the others in the group, which is much bigger. And the 7 have to decide where they are going, who wants to be with them. We create the captains of the travel, and then we become the head of the herds of the soul of the man in which direction. One of the 7 says, I want to go to Mars. The other 7, I'm going to take your family to show you my mother. The other one says, I'm taking you to planet Zeus. And you all, in the 2nd of May, have to sign for it. You are going to Zeus. Who's going to see the grandmother, and who's going to somewhere else? We start establishing the structure of the captains of what we call transmutation system of the future. This is why we canceled last week's test. Because instead of putting you in and then doing it again, we have opportunity. We saw what was missing in the structure. Now you give your soul, you give your energy to your captain. It's his responsibility to take you across. So the first 7, what we call captains of the future space technology, is already decided. Your soul brought you. We didn't. We allocated 1, Rick Raymond. The rest have been there, and it was his soul nominated itself. We just explained the word. The future of the man, the only path of the survival of man in space is if the man understands the working of the magnetic gravitational field of the universe. Matter state, plasma state, energy state, does not matter what state. How do the fields flow in the space? Man knows one, but ignores the other. Because to understand it in the energy, doesn't exist. To understand in the matter state, I can explain to you as much as I like. In the world of the matter state, we have come up with very good ideas, with the good solutions for a lot of things, but we cannot. When it comes to the point of what we call energy, plasma, we are lost. Our scientists are as good as a bunch of camels sticking one in the back of the other. What does this mean? In the world of energy, in the world of today's science of the man, we have created a word. We call this potential energy. Then we become very clever. We call the speed of whatever goes from here to here the current of. And here we call it the speed in the river for the water. And we are very clever. In electronics, we call it current. But it's the same thing, flow of. In the world of man, we call it this, the height level, potential difference. And in material of the energy, we call it voltage. Now, we have a new game in town. One goes that way, one goes this way. In the world of electronics or electrons, we call this the eddy current. In a way, this is magnetical. The current, you call it ampere. This is gravitational, we call it eddy current, and anything else you want to call it. So, if you understood this, the gap between the magnetical and gravitational connection of the field will give you the field strength difference, the potential of the magnetic field. And the speed of the field will give you this current. So we can, in a way, dictate and understand the power of the plasma by one of the elements on one side and the power of the elements on the other side, and the difference gives us the destination point of field strength, of power of the magnetic field, gravitational field we have in hand. There is no difference in the world of science. If it happens in the matter energy side, it happens in energy matter side too. And once we understand this, once man completes this cycle, on the energy side, man has conquered half of the way to travel the span of the universe instantaneous. Access the energy of the knowledge of the universe instantaneous. There is no language classes in the universe. When I was little, we used to go to English classes. 10 years I went to English classes. I learned Farsi, English in a Farsi accent, and then when I landed the first year, first day in the classroom in Barnet College in London, the guy went blah, 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 blah. What happened to 10 years I studied? It was blah, 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 blah. Black boy next to me says, what's your name? Your name. I never heard that accent. I didn't know he's from a Londoner with a Cockney accent. Then imagine what happened, who's going to translate for you with all the creatures of the universe you come across. There are no languages in school of the universe. There is no language in school nowhere in the universe, as there is no churches and no temples. If you understand the field strength, you gather the knowledge of, understanding of, and then you understand this is the field strength between these two, and the current flows is the emotion of happiness. I have it, he has it, every creature in the universe has the same. We have to extend our knowledge, understanding of, instead of putting all this hullabaloo in the hand of the man, with Earth and all the magnetic fields of it going and making it or whatever, understand one of them only. That's all you need to know. These two. What goes in and which one comes out. These two are the source of knowledge. These are the source of the totality of knowledge a man needs, because once you understood this one, you understand the rest. Problem we have this. Why we head to this way with our knowledge is because we never, as I always said many times, connected the atmosphere of this planet to the gravitational field of this planet. We always measure gravity, but what about the repulsion? Because the balance between these two decides I stay attached to this planet. If our scientists understand that when you say gravity is 1g, magnetical is what g? This is the dilemma you have. This is the dilemma why man science has a big problem, makes rockets, makes Mr. What do you call it, NASA and the rest, in a game of propulsion and bending it like the Chinese do and done for centuries. Because we just want to overcome the gravity. You don't need to worry about the gravity. Find out what's the magnetic of it. It pushes you away. It brings you to the destination. Now find out this magnetic field you get on. Does it go to the moon strength, or is the one which goes to the planet Zeus? That's it. You're on the wind of the field of the universe. You don't need to burn anything, because this field is going, I just jump on it. We have created a system in our lab. This is what you saw, this material, which works with this. We can adjust the magnetical to gravitational, where the magnetical goes this way and we create a gravitational within the other way. There is no rotating material in it. And if I want to jump from calcium to, let's say, iron, I know what to add to this center field. We divide the system that interfere with this and makes it to copper. When we show you the system, when, luckily, I don't know if when we're going to show you the system, you will see one machine with different element, nitrogen, whatever. On our control panel of our system, we dictate what we produce. So now we got to the position that we dictate what materials, what gases, whatever we want to produce. I'm short of oxygen in the system. Passengers from the Earth are going to die. I just adjust the system. Oxygen is increased. We mastered the dimension of production of rare earth materials, which you don't get. Now we master the structure of the gaseous. When you see the panel, you understand exactly what. Those of you who came to London, when in our Ambassador meeting, you saw on the top on the panel, there were scales of change of weight. Now we do the same thing, the same system with change in the dimension, we can decide it to lift. to land. The system, while it's leading or landing or going, it produces materials we need. You've seen the other material I showed you, the white one. Somebody wrote this is a choke. If this is a choke, you'll choke on it because you haven't understood yet. The advancement in technology is that we have reached a position that one system can do exactly what planet Earth does. Even position itself in respect to the Creator. Now you understand how scientific we are. We are not what we call bunch of fallacies and promises. We are scientific. We are structured scientific. We work scientific, and the knowledge of the man under the banner of the Keshe Foundation, under the banner of the research and development of the understanding the work of the universe, has reached a position that can produce the materials of the universe at will. And we know how we can bring this possible, how the technology has developed to the extent that we do not need to jump into something else. We just need to understand the position of, the understanding of what we create, how we create, the way we create, and what we want to create. This is the understanding of the work of the universe. This is understanding how systems are set to produce what they want to produce, what we want to produce, the way we want to produce, and in the dimension and the direction we want to produce. In the process of understanding this work of the plasma of the field, you decide by the strength of your own dimension what to produce, how to produce. It's not anymore this and that. We have within the structure of the knowledge and technology, understanding of how to create these things. It hasn't been easy and never fell off the sky. We had to understand every step of it. We had to understand how to process it. We had to understand while I'm producing this gas, while I'm producing in this material, why I'm in that position, what's going to happen with me. There we are. Now you can see. 35th of war, 18th of war, 25. We produce this gas, oxygen and a CO2. We flip, you can see 556, 665. And then we can control the nitrogen, the hydrogen, the helium, the CO2, and everything else, which is on another page of this control. Then, if you're clever, you realize one thing from this. We have the oxygen. We have the hydrogen. You see CO2 and CO. We can produce carbon in our system. And something very funny, the only thing that is left is look at the bottom. On the second page of the system, you can see the other part of this system, which I show you now, is very simple. I'm going to go out and add to it and come back, and then you understand how advanced we are. This is a one screen. Because we can't fit in all the materials in, we have the second screen. They're from two different birth rates, nitrogen 81. You have the nitrogen, you have the oxygen, you have the hydrogen, and you have a carbon. We have the knowledge to create protein. We have the knowledge to create life on this planet, on the condition of this planet. We have become the creator or controller of creating life. Do you want me to create the amino acid of your liver or your soul? Scientifically, we are not rabbis, bunch of crooks, and one of them died last Sunday called the Pope. Understanding this, understanding the control, and by adjusting our system, we can produce anything we like. So, because we understood that fundamental position of gravitational and magnetical, we can create that. We can create amino acid of any element, any life, anywhere in the universe, because we control it within. Now, technology has become a creator. We build robots. Now we can build lives which are not to be robots, but lives which live a peaceful life. Add water to it, which is not very difficult. You have a hydrogen, you have a O2. God help you with the rest of it. We can make that amino acid dynamic. Add few little bits which I know how to add. Give it intelligence, give it emotion. Who needs to make robots? We can preset to produce a material with emotion, with energy, with creation of power itself. That becomes part of the new chips which have emotion. In the next few years, microchips will not be Silicon Valley, will be empty, because those who understand how this works, those who understand how to transfer this technology into matter state of it, you create a brain, the soul of the system, which matches every other man. And this is the future of the technology. This is the future of the science which we have set out. This is why last week or the week before I told you we need 500,000. These equipments are not cheap. These things are not set. And there are one or two companies in the world who can give us more accurate. Even with this, we have a problem. Research and development needs solid financing, needs solid understanding to finance the right way. Very soon, we play this, you will see the machine and we adjust it. We see the hydrogen goes, becomes CO2, and then we change it, becomes HF. If any of you knows what HF is, then you understand we have access to production of any plutonium, uranium, nuclear material in the world. This is the material in your cooling system in your fridges. Now you have to understand why we need to understand precisely what gives us what emotion strength is, that it becomes pattern of our life. It becomes like the way you remember something. If I need potato, I have to get up, go in the kitchen, in the drawer, there is a package, potatoes in it. Your memory will remember exactly what field strength, gravitational, magnetical is of the potato. You don't need to move, you just connect and it comes. The physical walk, it changes with connection of talks and energy. Now you understand how advanced the technology is and how we invest to bring man to that point. In London, we showed you how it moves. In Sanya, we showed how we create a connection of you set different machines. Now you see how we can support it. We can support the physical life, and we can support the energy life, which is the soul of the man. Because we have the equipment of it, we understand it. And if any of you say, how do you measure the field strength or whatever? Those of you who were with us in the Sensano, we measured 129 Tesla. We still have those machines which we invested thousands for it, made nearly a year for it to be manufactured. So we can measure the field of strength of your soul. We can measure the field of happiness. We can measure the field of joy, giving and taking. This is how when I said the guy in front of me in this and I said he's here to kill me, and at the end he ended up the guy who was poisoning me. Plus my ex-wife having a hand in all of it. Belgians. This is what the technology is. No mystery. Understanding every position and position of it. Understanding, if you look at the other one, which I showed you, look at this one. It says 556. If I go out and come back in, and you noticed the other picture, 556 on this one, 655 on this one. What does this give us? What new creature? What magnetic field strength? This is where the future of the science sits. Not just seeing the numbers. What does number mean? Which connection to where, to which planet, to which soul, to which cell of my body? Nowadays we take a blood, you have a calcium there extra, you have zinc, your iron is good. We have to produce systems which measures the energies of the cells of the body of the man. And that energy tells us why a lump is created. Somebody call it a cancer because the energy is not correct or happened to be too gravitational. It creates the black hole, it pulls everything in, is becoming a new star. That star created needs energy, so it gets grower, it takes energy from you. No man has ever died on this planet of cancer. Man die of lack of energy because that guy is taking black hole, all the energy. And then he's spreading more black holes around the body because this cancer is metastasized because we never understood. With this technology, with this system, we measure that metastasization. You ask the man, do you want to live or do you want to die? He decides. I gave that chance to John many times. It's your decision, not mine. His desire to go was bigger than to stay. It wasn't that technology wasn't there, it was at his disposal. The decision was the decision of the soul. I sat him in front of me in Linz. I said to him, John, I can interfere with every part of your body, but it's not my right. You decide. We can control emotion. We can control production of materials, isotopes, universes. At the end, it's the decision of the soul which decides to accept or to reject. The knowledge is so deep and is reaching deeper and deeper as our scientists understand more and more that sometimes I'm frightened even to explain to new knowledge seekers at the world of science what can be done. The question them, how much money can I make? I become very rich. We have reached a state of knowledge that we can create creatures. We can create conditions that creates itself a dimension of life. What are we going to do? We were happy to make robots. We were happy to make a dog robot, a cat robot, a waiter robot. Now we're reaching the point of we can create life, not as children, but condition of environment. What is ethical responsibility of the man? Do we release this knowledge or do we hold it back? Do we go to the stage that hopefully man will come to understand the reality about the creation, or do we stop man to get there because man is not ready, and then the time goes, Mr. Keshe died, the knowledge was shelved, and another abuse for centuries to come. Do we, can we, have we got the right to withhold the knowledge? Or is our responsibility to make knowledge available that no one is left behind? And the decision is ours. Because you have seen the gas, you have seen the water many of you produced, you have seen the material produced, you have seen the effect field of 129, and you've seen other bits which leads to the creation of life and intelligence which we can control every part of it. You went and got pregnant by insemination. The new technology can make you pregnant with a field energy you never even had sex. Virgin Mary. You can even now, if you understand it, make a man pregnant, forget about the women. Where does society sit with this knowledge? Or do we abandon this knowledge? We just show you the lift and you're happy, we can fly. Or as a responsible understanding of the knowledge, we have to create everything. You see in the gas, the other picture of the white thing I showed you, the material. The other side, you've seen the energy, and in the other presentation, when the level of understanding was, you saw lift and motion. We have created a living planet, living system in the universe which can create its own things, has no connection to no power supply of the earth in the matter state. The biggest question for me for the past few days is, can I release the rest of the knowledge to man? And I made a decision in the past 24 hours, yes. We bring the revolution in science right on the nose of the whole world. travel to destination, we tell you, and you will see it there. Everything which one needs. If you are very materialistic, oh, that makes material. If you're very materialistic, oh, I want to see the gas. If you're materialistic, oh, that's the water. But if you understand it, earth, wind, and fire. Now we have the knowledge of creation, and you've seen it today on your own screens. The knowledge is to understand how it went from 665 to another one, which is 556. At 1013 was 556. At 1534 is 665. Do I need 5 hours to change it? What happened between these two? Because the oxygen level stayed the same. The carbon, CO2, led to creation of new life. And then we saw the nitrogen. In what you have is oxygen, CO2, and you have the other elements, you can create life. And you produce a CH3, you can give it life, complete with its own energy system, both connected to the universal dimension of the field and one to the creator, which is the essence of creation. And nowadays, you can see all of this on 2 or 3 screens in front of you. So we can decide this life in this machine is going to be a human with laughter, and this is how it feels, and it produces the body to be all bones and structures. This is what the future of the space technology is. It's not to get you to A to B, I'm happy, and I can make gold. Man now has access to the gold of the creation, which is creation of life. And we have the machine, these figures and data which we have shown is done by machines, we can control it. This is where the morality of the heads of states come in. And the nations decide on the future of humanity in where we go. And this is where the future sits. Collectively, we decide in where man goes, and we create the condition, we create the field strength that we all have in common, and we all decide no more destruction, no more killing, because this field will be deleted from the life of the cycle of the amino acid of the man. We put a sink into it, we make a black hole which is just collects that field of strength, which we call it killing. It doesn't come by gases. It comes by understanding the process of the field of strength which leads to that connection. Don't want to eat anymore because I've received my field energies. Because I have tuned to the field of strength which delivers to my soul, to my central field, what the rest of my physical dimensions satellites need. You need one sun to run the whole of solar system. Jupiter doesn't get instructions from somewhere else on positioning. Saturn doesn't get position instructions from somewhere. They get the structure, instruction, life, position according to the mother, the sun. How they behave, how many satellites they make, and how each one lives. As I've said many times, the sun is your soul in the center, is not imaginary somewhere else. And then your Jupiter is your kidney, your Saturn is your heart, and the rest. We just given different name to the same organ, the same structure. And now we have the capability to change the future of man by directly interacting with the field emotion of his life. Now you understand why in all the teachings I push, I try to get you to understand the field strength of the emotion. Now we're developing systems which we can now control the emotion, direction of emotion, and bring to man dimension that you'll never kill. Then we let the man free in the universe of creation. But scientists of the man have to understand it, otherwise there will be another job. You flip up somewhere else. The technology, the advancement in technology is so vast that it scares us even to bring it to public, but we have no choice. It'll change the economy of the world the man has built for itself. It'll change the structure of the world leadership the man has made. For itself. How to rule that one.
Mr. Keshe, we're losing some voice there.
Man has to rise and in this process, man will come to a point where the creation, the dimension of said, man has to rise. The dimension of understanding is, shall be, and it'll be.
Recording in progress.
On man itself. How do we write in the future in what we did in the past to ourselves? And what damaged soul we send in the universe, which is aware of the damage, but he cannot remember the damage. It's not just getting the man not to kill physically, it's erasing this from the soul of the man, which has become part of it. That in other dimensions doesn't lead to problem. This is why this new technology is introduced. We are not searching to give you a machine which gets gas, mixed materials, some of it all. It's a choke up, I know. If this is choke, God bless you. We haven't made the system to show you 1 flies. We haven't given you a system to measure 129 Tesla. You're developing a technology that the man can change the strength of his soul to stop killing. Then man is free. Then the doors of the jail of village of the earth will be opened up when everybody is out of the castle. But it has to be done by men scientists that they understand it. It has to be done by man accepting that there is another way to create, sustain, support, enjoy life, the way the universe is done, than rather than man. Something has happened to me from when I was a child. And I explained to you, it might sound funny, but it has a lot of meaning behind it. We've seen many pictures of the aliens. Have you seen any of them fat? They all have no slim skeleton because they have no stomach structure, because they don't digest, they have nothing to digest. It's just that doesn't exist. They work through the central energy. That's the body you get. The fatness and the layers of our stomach is because it has to accommodate intestines and all the things made to digest the energy of life. Next time you look at the picture of the aliens, Americans, or whatever it tells you, see which one has a stomach, what belly is sticking out. Where do they store their food? Where do they digest their food? Or have they learned to use a central system that uses the energy of the environment than killing to get? In the coming time, we teach you more. In the coming time, we try to raise the level of understanding. And then we move to the next cycle. And that cycle, where you get out of the door of this village of earth, that's the time when I say goodbye and Mitra takes over. That's the job of the daughter of Mitra and Nandai. I have to teach you how to drive. The one who shows you the road is her, not me. And she's amongst you, so it means you don't have much time before you get to that point. We go for a break and we come back. And I hope we can answer some of your questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Okay, let me get the background up here. Okay, thank you, everyone. That completes the first part of our program. And we'll be back in a few minutes for the second half. And as Mr. Keshe mentioned, there'll be an opportunity to ask questions. Those in the Zoom as attendees can raise their virtual hands, and then we can allow you to open your microphone in order to speak. Otherwise, you can put questions in the Q&A or in the chat and in the YouTube chat as well. Okay, we'll just have a couple of videos here and be back in a few minutes. Okay, bear with me a minute. My Zoom sound seems to have stopped working. So I'm just trying to jumpstart that. Oh, it looks like we're going to have a few minutes of silence here because
Why?
none of my videos will play right now. It's well, they'll play, but I don't believe the audio will come through because I don't have the option to share sound. I can try it, but I don't. See if you can hear this. Could you hear that sound or no? That was it.
Nope. Nope.
Probably not. Yeah. I can't share sound. I'm not sure what to do.
Do you want to switch off and switch back on?
Yeah, probably would have to go out and come back in and.
Okay. Let me just hand over the
host to KFM.
The host KFM. Yeah. Hand over to KFMC.
There you go, and I will be right back, and then you can host me back.
Return you back to the host. Yeah. We know what happens when I don't do. I go home and then you're still there hanging. Is anybody there to switch it off? No problem.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be back in a minute here.
Yeah, no problem. I think we had enough break. If there are any questions, we wait till Rick comes back. As usual, we make some announcements, some things which are happening around the foundation and around the work of art. We are trying to organize process of demonstration, not demonstration, showing different aspects of the technology to both of the science and diplomats and politicians in a different way than we've done before. If we succeed on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of May, demonstration of the system internationally, and will be broadcasted right across different channels of Keshe Foundation and all the medias which is getting set up in the background for the state, will bring in to social media and the rest at the simultaneous same time, and a continuous transmission of different conditions and productions of materials around the world, which brings an end to the production of what we call using resources of this planet as a way to control and create condition of power. If we succeed, it will be announced. If the governments and other establishments do not block the process, you will be given the place, the name, where you can fly and see. You can be part of the structure. And at the same time, it's so public that nobody can hide it. We get to the position that we have to do this to change direction, because fundamentally, scientifically, we are matured enough to be able to handle the governments, to handle the nations, to handle the condition that brings that change. I'm sure many of you would like to be there. And I'm sure the facility for many of you to go and see, be there to see, and be there as part of the knowledge seekers to answer the rest of the population, to explain the knowledge and be versed with it, that anyone in any language can understand, and we bring the change. Very much the way we did with 129. We create 3 days of the world to see, to take out the cornerstones of war by control of materialistic conditions of this planet. On the other hand, those of 7 of you who are supposed to go through the test of the transmutation tomorrow, we had to change it. Most probably be on Monday, There are 2 reasons. We haven't received a confirmation from all 7 of you that you have received your materials up to half an hour ago, a couple are missing. And secondly, one of the knowledge seekers cannot attend Friday session. So we have moved everything to Monday. Monday is the session time when you'll be given time in joining the session. And do not worry, because you 7 have received specific materials. In the past, as I said, in our systems, in our processing, we used, if I can get to it, we used if you remember, the vertical maggrav units that was to be for you to go in, and then we can transmute you, that you could go from A to B, and what we call the vertical transmutation. We have the knowledge, the extent of knowledge has passed the point that we do not need to. We have created, we extended knowledge that we can bypass, instead of you going into a box, that we make a box of fields of you personally. And this is what this test with the 7 people is. We brought mountain to Muhammad instead of taking Muhammad to the mountain. And what success, how we reach, to what extent the technology be tested. And as I said, I hope I don't lose any of you in this process, 7 of you, and then the following week, some of you, 35 of you, if you stay good boys and stick to the structure, we should be able to take you from A to B, and you gradually be able to do this yourselves. So on Monday, we will set the structure for the first transmutation, where instead of putting you in a box, beam me up Scotty, we put you in energy package and you beam yourself. In a way, you become independent of what I call somebody else doing it for you. We provide the destination. Part of the work which all of you will do is to come home, to come to us, to, in a way, we direct you to come home. We built the system. If you went to the salon, you've seen it. Now, instead of us making this block, we have created the materials which creates the same condition, but with the advancement in technology, allows you, in a way, to, if it was your body, if I can show it this way, going into this box, we have developed what you received as knowledge seekers. You place the materials you have at the flat of your foot, that there is nothing beyond your feet to the ground or the space you are. The flat of your hands, and 2 on either side of your head. Your material has numbers. You have, if it's correct, it should be 4, 3, and 2. You connect your headphones to get instruction from us, and then we create the energy field around you that you don't need this box. The system is designed in a specific way to land you or to take you out. The process of understanding is that we only work with this part. It's your job to take the rest of you with you. Don't leave any pieces behind. You have two choices, or you have two ways to do it. In the process of doing, and that is, we would like you in the process of testing, try two different dimensions, two different directions. And one is, don't want that. And one is, this is your, let me clean up, the system messed up. One is that this is you, and this is your leg. Try to open your hand to expand that it goes beyond the physical boundary you come in. Try to match your legs the same. Don't stick your body to each other. Create an environment that it covers the boundary of your head. You don't need to make any movement. We create the vortex of the field energy in your condition. What will happen? You, with this, due to the possibilities and the coordination, you're engaged into a field which we control. Your destination will be given to you in the process. Then you decide in that process where to go and which other 7 you want to take with you. We have taken 7 people to this test. 4 and 3. We want to know which one dominates that the other one will follow. This is, in a way, if you understand it, in the future, it'll be a hat, 2 gloves in your hand and 2 socks on your foot, or 2 shoes on the foot, you fly. You decide the transmutation, where these carry the dimension and whatever, and it can be done in a way, in a further distance time, where nobody else can wear these hats and material because you connect to it and it's yours. It's like a key in the pocket. It's connected to the structure of the soul. It's connected to everything else. And once you understand this, when you join us on Monday, it's your destination, it's your decision of the destination and the place. We've done this test in a very powerful way with John. And he has arrived. He could tell me where he is, where I am, what I'm holding, where I was standing, which room I was in. He even could tell me he left something behind when he was there in that cupboard. We want to extend the knowledge. And it's important for us to understand the totality of the process. In essence, you become the controller. We just give you the condition. The way these materials are structured is that allows you access to the creator and allows you access to the universal field. Any of you during the process decides to see who your God is, who your creator is your decision. It's been built in the material which already is in your possession. That advance in technology and knowledge we are. The option is yours. You can connect to the amino acid and stay on this planet in interaction with the people. Or you can choose, I know one of you will, her will is so strong to do that, to see the Creator. We know all of you well. We know why you chose yourself, but in a way we know who is chosen for what reason. In this trip, don't panic and don't bring uncertainty. In this journey, be 100% sure that it's you who makes the decision and it's you who has control over everything and nobody else can interfere with. We set up the flagpole and beacon that we are there if you get lost in your emotion, if you get lost in dimension and direction of your travel. We are not there to dictate you where to come to. We're just that lighthouse that we are there. If you get lost, you know where the home is. I hope those of you who go through this journey on Monday will enjoy it immensely. We try to do the session in the afternoon of Monday that we can cover most of the people who participate in different parts of the world in this experiment. That you're not all asleep. We have some waking one and those who are still awake. The time and duration of the test or flight all depends what we see, what dimensions we observe on our system. It'll be around about 2 p.m. Central European time. You all will receive the email of instructions, but understand the only person who can not take you where you want to go to is you if you panic. All of you are part of this structure. We know long enough to know you are confident enough to carry this through. And there is no panic. But please don't leave a kidney or a leg behind when you're traveling. Go back and come back with the same, all the bits start attached to each other. And then on the May the 2nd, we bring those of you who already volunteered to participate in this second part and choose their captain and travel with them, which means those of you in the dimension you decide will not be alone, that you can panic. We had to do this to build the captain's strength first, that we don't see the problems we saw in other dimensions once one panics, everybody else goes, because once you lock in, trust in, is unbreakable. Those of you who receive these materials, keep it safe till the 2nd of May. Because you have to use it again in 2nd of May. And we set up the support structure for those of you who travel 2nd of May to have the confidence that I'm not as a passenger seat, I'm a passenger of my own decision, but I am not sitting in the seat of the captain. I cannot get lost. And I hope your captain does not crash you somewhere in this process. We are entering a very serious part of the technology development and testing, and we more or less know what we are doing, where we are going in these tests, but we need to bring enough data, to bring enough that we can perfect the art of producing systems which can move central energies than the physicality. As I always said, If you see a UFO in the sky, it means that intelligence is a little bit ahead of you. It's not much more because it's still traveling physically. If you travel and come across the energy fields of another pack, these are guys who actually have understood a little bit more. And there are not many of them in the universe. But what you see is one of you in that dimension and direction. On the other hand, the Keshe Foundation is still pushing through with other science, other materials. As I said, 47 or 14, 47, 48 cosmic ray materials has been completed, and I hope it's already left or will leave, because it's just a matter of getting it to the post office as far as we understand. And 25, as I said, has been used in the systems which was by those who bought it wanted to be planted in for different application. We have made a video, I hope Rick has the access to it, of what these cosmic materials will do and can do, and you will understand it deeper. We go much deeper into it when we come to it. Is your sound still working? Is your video still working, Rick?
No, I can't get it. I restarted Zoom and it didn't work. I might have to restart my whole system, but that could take 10 or 15 minutes. It's very slow to restart. I'm not sure.
I think the sound and the effect of what you see goes together.
Which video were you talking about?
I sent you 2 videos this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have sound, I don't think. Oh, maybe I didn't
They
play.
have a sound. They have a sound. They have a beautiful sound. And the sound's created in the environment of them.
Right.
That's why we sent it.
Let me see what happens when I try to share it here. Bear with me a minute.
Somebody says take it out of the focus mode.
Take it out of the focus mode.
Yeah.
Take what out of the focus mode?
We know something in the future, if we create this kind of systems with the emotion and doesn't work, it says, oh, the system is angry. We have to tell him to be happy, and then it might show itself.
Speaker video.
It says under the more thing, under more setting in your chat, Mark Anderson is trying to tell you something.
I've got pause, stop recording, polls, quizzes, Q&A, disable annotation for others, hide names of annotators, hide video panel, hide floating meeting controls, and remote control. I don't understand. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to find there. Okay, well, let me try to share, and maybe I can play the sound through my microphone or something like that. I'll come up with something here. Okay, so
Silent button.
let's see. And try and share.
Mark asking who's the host. The host is Rick.
Yep. Let me see if I can hear it first. Yeah, I can hear.
Yes.
Do you hear that?
We can hear it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right, it's a minor miracle. Let's go for that. Yeah, I'll make sure it's all cranked up as much
It's
as
2 of them.
Yeah, are there
There's
in a
two.
particular order? Do I have to play them in
No,
order?
no,
Doesn't
no,
matter.
no, 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 no.
This is the 11th.
Look at the structure of the light with a ball. It's very interesting. I'll tell you in the future why.
Okay, I could put it on loop so it could play it back a few times, let's say, because
Couple of times.
quick enough that it's easy to miss at first.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
You don't have the sound. And it's very slow. This goes very high revolution.
Maybe I can turn up.
You can leave it to next time.
I'll turn up my sound and play it through the microphone. Let's try that.
Yeah, but the speed is very low. It goes with a very high speed.
Okay, it's on the playback speed of 1 time. I can play it faster. Let me try the other video. It's this one. Okay, let me share that. And I'll crank up my sound and try to play it. And again, the playback speed is 1 time, so.
It starts fast and then it stops. We play it next week when you have your system, because there's a lot you will learn from this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, no problem. It's part of the same structure. Are there any questions?
Yes, there's several questions here. Let's have a look. Mehran has had a question earlier in the chat. Can you please give again the list of expertises that you need for the aim of expansion of the Keshe Foundation? The list of
What?
What would you say? The criteria that you're looking for, the different skills and abilities that you're looking for to have people working with the Keshe Foundation to expand it for the future.
What is in the past teaching is there. I don't have it with me, but
yeah, there is a
we'll try to put it up.
that. I think it's clipped out already. That
Pardon?
I think we have a recording of that somewhere of the different
Positions we are looking for.
yes, that's the correct word.
Yes.
It says my screen sharing is paused and it won't let me resume. It's strange. Let's try stop share and reshare. See if that fixes it. Nope. I can't even share properly here. I'm not sure what's being shared because
Yeah.
It's stuck.
It's okay.
It's the first time.
You have a technical problem.
Yes, it's the first time Zoom. There's a new Zoom update, so perhaps that's what's giving trouble here. I didn't do the update today, so Zoom doesn't like me apparently. Okay, well, anyway, back to our questions here. We have a question in the Q&A. Let me see if I can find
one of the people we are looking for is the young people who are savvy, who understand and can work with social media. Some 10, 15 social media channels will be launched in the next few days on the different sections, and they all go on the one control panel. That means once we push one video, all the 10, 15 channels will play at the same time, instantaneously across everywhere. We need people who have a full understanding of how to operate this and how to make bits and sections and parts that it can continuously to be loaded. Once a day a new tape, twice a day new tapes, different aspects. And we want to bring the social media understanding very rapidly to a point that people understand the logic of the new technology. We spend a lot of time in completing this. It's literally a matter of a few hours, a couple of days, that everything is connected and everything is done. The computer guys are at it for the past few weeks because it needs a lot of things to be set up, a lot of license to be purchased, and the rest all is more or less is done as far as I know. We need people who can monitor, who can set up, who can make short videos from the teaching, short videos from the part of the technology application that it can be loaded continuously. 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes videos that we bring the knowledge very quickly that people can go to the next step, the next step. And as many of you know, Keshe Foundation in its commercial side is moving very fast. A lot of developments are taking place on that side as much as on the research side. And we need to bring the two to run in harmony together, that we can bring the change that stands next to each other. We give you more and more details, most probably by next week. And then we will see how far we can expand the knowledge in what we ignored for the past 5 or 10 years, which now we are ready to handle and to see through. Any questions you have? Did you see anything?
Yes, we had a question from Bose Michael, and I don't see the question here right now, but I do have a translation of it. Said that, good morning, Mr. Keshe. You said that it's now possible to transfer targeted emotions into specific amino acids, and that dynamic systems are no longer needed to generate fields. This raises a profound question for me. If such a conscious microprocessor fed by emotions such as joy or compassion operates in the plasma field of pure love, could one say that it carries a soul? And if so, would it be possible for such an animated, artificially born being to communicate with us at the soul level, just as animated humans do? I'm less interested in the technical perspective than in the field perspective. How do you see the role of such new beings in the larger universal context? Could they become part of the galactic family? Or might they even bring something new into the web of being?
Yes. And strange enough, I received something very interesting from our people, even this morning, which is very interesting. This, I'll read it to you because it was very interesting to read it, but it's something I know, and I hope they don't mind me putting it, reading it. Because they feel it. They feel they're connected. And you go and do an exercise to do something. You make a telephone call to connect someone. The people who work with the system, with emotion, with everything else, they are constantly aware of the connection. And actually they need a little bit of training to know how to use it. It's like actually we made the AI, but teaching how to use the AI. What are the facets of it and how you can get the maximum out of it. But yes, you can. This is part of the process of the teaching and testing. People who work with our systems long term, they build the direct line to them. People who've been on certain ways connecting with us, they don't need us to be there to connect. We establish this connection through the Obiso systems. Those of you who have the Obiso systems, you connect to our system as you want. When it's prearranged that there's nobody in there, you can't affect anybody else's operation. It can be done. It's already getting done, and it needs more development to have it available by everybody else to do it. It's an automatic dial. You don't need to actually get up and dial. Even in your sleep, you're still connected. And when you wake up, when you start operating, it just reminds you of the feeling, the emotion that you're connected to another structure. People who have the Trinity systems should have this feeling that there's always energy available, there's always information available if you know how to use the Trinity system. And yes, it can be done, and we already see it. It's not something that might happen in the future. We already see how people connect to these systems and how they change their energy or how they feel the energy. Any other question?
Okay. I thought we had a hand up here, but I don't see one right now. In the Q&A, I guess so. Achilles thus says, in the third book, it was written, magnetic rays is time setter for the degeneration and division of man's cell. It's the secret of eternal life. My question is the magnetic ray here the same as the cosmic ray, the energy of H2, deuterium? Thank you.
In a way, yes. And in a way, you have to understand it. It doesn't go only by deuterium. And feel the strength and how the energy levels are connected to each other. Another question.
Okay, Hong has a question about the cosmic ray materials that he purchased. He says, I have purchased the cosmic ray materials and later I want to integrate them into new units. Can I send them to the Keshe Foundation for integration?
Yes, do. We do it freely for you. Send it back, we integrate it. If your cosmic ray are still with us, if you bought the cosmic rays, just send a unit and tell them you want it to be used, you want them to be implanted in. We have we have two type of cosmic ray, what do you call it, packages. Ones which we can send out to as part of production, ones which is produced for systems. And yes, if you tell us, I think there is some left for the systems, we can just adopt it and give it. Or maybe even send you a new one, which is your cosmic ray is inside it, and keep that one and destroy it. Either way, I don't know how it's going to be done, but to be reopened and be placed and everything else, it can be done. But yes, send it to us, we do it for you. But this has a lot of taxes, import duty, creates a lot of problem tax-wise. Any other question?
We have some questions in YouTube here from Filippo, who says, good morning, Mr. Keshe. By using the Magrav stacker unit, how do we squeeze the fields between the gravitational and the gravitational ring outside in order to create whatever we want?
If it's a static, it's very difficult. And the problem with the dynamic ones is that's why you don't see this effect, you don't create it. Because the magnet or magnetic field generated by the motor will pull it into. The only way you can do it is by static, what do you call it? Static dynamic systems, which field system, which we have, or we make at the moment.
Well, Seventh Star had commented back back then. That was when you were speaking earlier. And Seventh Star says, you create strong gravity inside in respect to outside. So you force the release for it to have extra so you can convert and cut. That's one way to go. And that is exactly what Mr. Keshe just explained. He said at that time. Let's carry on here.
I just received the message to tell you regarding the, if we go ahead with the event of 10, 11, 12, we will post on all the Keshe Foundation channels the place where it's going to be exhibited in public, and that you can arrange if you want to go and see it. It will be announced within the next few days.
Okay, Stephen had a question about the Magrav. Do the 3 coils stacked in the Magrav unit need to be in resonance with each other? And can the nesting coils be resonant, in resonant tune with each other, with each outer coil to form a separation in destructive and constructive energy, and moving the cold constructive energy outwards and the hot destructive energy inward and creating lift? don't know if that made sense or not, but did it make
I
sense?
can see what he's asking. I can see his point of view, but I don't think we will be able to do it with the Maglev system.
Okay. Off script in YouTube says, Mr. Keshe, after transmuting, I feel more attracted to space, and I prefer being in the plasma condition than the physical. Is this change in perspective likely to occur with the people using your technology?
What does that mean?
Well, people, I think what I think he's saying is people tend to detach from the physical, and that makes you more naturally attracted to space, or what we call space. And it's a change in perspective, and and seems to me a natural.
I think we see a bigger picture. It's not that we get attracted or detached. We see a bigger, mature picture, and it.
For me, I think you broke up there, or at least from my end.
Doesn't fit into the past, which looks very fantastic when you grow up. You go to, why did I do here? Why did I come here so much? There's nothing here for me at this age. I'm in the wrong place. And it's the same. The more knowledge of the dimensions of the universal knowledge one learns, becomes to understand what the heck is going on with this world, with this material world. It doesn't bring detachment, it brings awareness, consciousness. That many knowledge seekers over past decades have seen who have reached this point. What's my purpose here? What, this is all fake, this doesn't work, this is whatever. But it's part of the package of life. It means we have not learned enough. There's more to learn, that when we go, we become master of our own souls, master of our own destiny. It is very normal. I've seen this with hundreds of knowledge seekers. It brings the maturity of understanding that there's more to life than what we see now, what we do.
Okay, we have a question from Seventh Star in YouTube. It says, will new ways of creating energy disrupt old systems? What's one piece of advice for people ready to embrace this shift, but stuck in a world still running on obsolete tech?
We still have to go to it. We still have to go to it. I still keep on saying, people, we were discussions even very recently. Electric cars are a waste of time in a few years' time, because diesel cars, fuel cars are a waste of time. Then even the car is a waste of time, because do I want to get into a box and drive for 20 minutes where I can do it in 2 seconds? And interesting thing is, when you're sitting in a fast car and see a guy walking or a donkey, says, oh, look at that, the donkey. But don't forget, your ancestors started with the donkey. There was no car. And the car of today, it'll become that donkey. And how much attachment you have to it. And this progress in technology.
Sometimes we wonder about the progress when the average speed in New York City is now exactly the same as when they had the donkey back in the old days, 4 miles per hour.
20 kilometers, isn't it? How
4
much is it?
miles per hour.
4 miles.
4 miles per hour is the average speed trying to get across New York City in a car now. And it was the same speed
the
as a
traffic, you
donkey
mean.
back in the day. The horses.
we got a metallic energy consuming donkey.
Yes. It often stinks worse than the original donkeys. But we're getting there. Let me see here. 7-Star also mentioned, you've said that governments suppress this technology, and but if a child could be taught how to build a MAGRAV unit, why hasn't grassroots adoption already won? I bet you wonder that yourself.
Yeah, most of the cities, big cities, have changed to 20, 30 kilometers. You can't go any faster. And the penalties are getting heavier and heavier if you break the law in the city center.
Yeah, it's quite, well, it can be frustrating if you're trying to drive and get somewhere in that kind of situation. And yeah, it's strange because the cars are getting more powerful, safer, and faster, but they're restricted to slower and slower speeds. So you could have a new car that's got 1,000 horsepower, the power of 1,000 horses, but there's still restricted to that 30 kilometers per hour. Again, the Roman chariots were going faster than that, so there you go.
There we go. We are back to Roman time. You know, in London, they call a taxi the black cabs. You see London taxis. They're called, by law, they had to, now they changed them, had to have a straw in their dashboard. You could see them. They always had something like a hay standing in the corner of the taxi or whatever, because they were considered to be still like a carriage, like a horse carriages. And as you had to have always feed for your horse, you had to have a feed for the hackney taxis that were based on the, you know, the hackney carriages of the olden time. And by law, you had to have a straw to feed your donkey, or what do you call it, your horse or whatever. I don't know if it's still part of the legislation or they banned it, but all the London taxis in 70s, 80s had this thing sticking most of the time in the dashboard. Because if the police was after you, the last thing could go ask the taxi, hackney taxi, was, where is your hay? And if you didn't have it, that was a penalty. If the police officer wanted to enforce the law, that was one of them they used to do. Oh, anything else?
7-Star is asking you a question. If you had to choose, would you rather that humanity universally accepted your tech tomorrow but never understood it, or understood it fully but took 100 years to adopt?
50 years is good enough, a combination of both.
Okay.
Well, the situation is very, very sensitive at the moment, especially the way we are going. We are producing systems, materials, that is part of the energy system, but we are producing the same material for a space system. And in producing the material for a space system, we intrude into the energy technology of today, which can make a few government bankrupt. When you don't need it, why should you pay for it? Because I can have it in my house 24 hours a day for nothing. So we see a problem, and that will create a short-term problem in acceptance of the technology. And then we go to the next step of Everybody uses technology. Why should we use it all the way? And the biggest problem is the scientists and those who see their position in danger. This is the biggest problem. Investments, which people they see as if we do, what am I going to do with my investment? What's going to happen? And what about what it is? This is what I said. I said before. Tesla cars, Tesla company. Most probably, once the technology becomes what it is, you have no need for electric motors. Then you don't need any for a structural body because you create what you like. Will not worth much, a couple of dollars. And we need. It's a very interesting position because this is why we are organizing this meeting on 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. There's a reason for it. It's not just. I set out to do this in past 2 weeks. And you hear the news, but you don't analyze the news. You just hear it and you pass it. We analyze the news. What it means, what is the time for it, what opportunities does it give us? Chinese government, in the tic-tac fight between the Americans, has stopped the delivery and purchase of any Boeing flight aircrafts. You hear it. Now I tell you the other side of it. You hear 17,000, 20,000 people Boeing has laid off because of the cancellation. When you lay off 20,000 people in the Boeing, it creates a wave effect to 250,000 to 500,000 jobs outside. They lose their jobs. How I know this? I explained this before. Just I used to be in the world of business. You can go and check, you know what I'm talking about. One of my company's job was acquisition of companies which are on the verge of bankruptcy or put in liquidation. We used to buy it, revamp it, buy it for pennies, sell it for pounds, or used to call it. But we were in that game. And there was a glass manufacturing. One of the companies, the last company, I had to withdraw because that's what it says in my mind. The rest I've done in my life is just done. It was a last glass manufacturing in England, making drinking glass cups. I put the position, I thought, that is the last one, we can change things. I went to the factory a few times, I looked at it. They had 18 million glasses or something in that region, bigger. And talking to the liquidators, I said, we buy it. It becomes part of assets of the biggest structure we own. And in that process of a few days, I decided, that's it. I pack up, I'm going towards my technology. This thing cannot be added into the empire of the structure I own. And I pulled out, I called the government official. It was announced in the Parliament of England that the buyer has withdrawn. We are closing the factory that day on a Friday. The factory employed 1,300 people roughly. And sitting with a member of the Parliament and the financial officer of the government across the table saying, I'm leaving the business because I'm going to my technology and everything else, is Mr. Keshe. 1,300 work in a factory. It's another 13,000, 15,000 jobs which supplies this factory. The loss is 20,000. Just take it, hand it over, and just carry on that we don't close it. I said, nobody knows how to run this business. He said, Mr. Keshe, there are 1.8 million glasses leaving to one of your warehouses you already paid for. What are you going to do with those? I said, I don't care, because even those, I don't know what's going to happen to them, because I have no interest in world of business anymore. And the tens of trucks carrying millions of glasses went to my Warehouses, I didn't care because I discovered the gravity. I wanted the lure of this mistress became a wife was bigger. Then I realized how, as we knew, the effect is when you lay down 1,300 people, the cleaner, the transport guy, the shop down the road, the rest of it adds another 10 times more employment. So when Boeing lays down 1,700, 20,000 people, 17,000, 20,000 people, the supply chain goes to 500,000. But now, this opportunity for us. Why is it there? China, with this cancellation of the order, has cancelled 8,800 aircrafts to be delivered in the next 20 years, which means every day of operation of Boeing, one plane was made for China. Actually, more than one plane. It works at about 8 or 9 planes a week. These people, these 20,000 people, were just employed to make for China. Now, 8,000 aircrafts are missing. Would this warfare go further? And Keshe Foundation has a transport system. It's the best time for us to jump in, introduce a new technology. China, you don't want to invest. We give you a new technology. It's here, test it, play with it, chew it. Last week, many of you know, through this tic-tac war, a lot of American companies, top brands, stop buying goods in China, trying to manufacture in America. You pay for a handbag $1,000, $600. We don't take it because we have to take it back because, you know, this guy will hammer us more. So they don't ship, they cancel the order, but all the else's has been paid. Shipping has been booked because it's done for so many years. It's automatically, shipping company is not going to lose. What did China do? China put 8 huge cargo ships as they were full going to America with empty containers. Says, you paid for a cargo, shipping company says, I'm not going to do anything. If I don't send ships, you haven't sent it to us, we don't get paid. So tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of containers empty has gone to Los Angeles, American ports. Shipping company going to get paid. American insurance companies and everything else will pay for it. But it has created another dimension of mess in the whole system of this tariff war. The Chinese are stuck with hundreds of thousands of, let's say, handbags. Handbags are sold $600, $1,000, $2,000 in America and Europe. They actually paid the manufacturers $20. So they inflated the bags by 1,000 times, in some cases 10,000 times. I don't know if you're in the handbag business, ladies. Some bags are sold as much as $250,000 brand names. I know many of you are in that game, but there are there. I know, I've been in that life. You buy a handbag for 10, 20,000, which is the same as what you put $10, but you buy it in the market, does the same thing. Now, the Chinese factories are left with tens of thousands of handbags, branded, it's original, and the Americans don't want it. So now they're putting in the Chinese market branded handbags for $20, $30. You can buy directly from the factory instead of paying $2,000. But this has created a new dilemma again for the Americans. It's a kickback on this tariff base. People asking questions, why are we paying $2,000 for a $20 bag? You will see in the next few months, top brands, which mainly owned by a French guy, will start closing down because people became aware of. Now people in America are on the internet buying the same bag for $20, they're going to pay $2,000 or $10,000 for. This tariff war has brought a beautiful opportunity for Keshe Foundation for new technologies. And this is why you suddenly hear we are doing this presentation. It's time to launch in the flight system. China, 8,800 planes in the next 20 years. They're all going to be still flying in 20 years. 80%, 90% of them. You multiply 8,000 planes in the air, multiplied by 100 seats, million people a day. Some of them make 2 or 3 trips. Is a big hub to go in. And this is why we decided to go this way. It's not just that you're going to see, but with this, we bring another cycle of the things. But again, when you speak about the aircraft, as I said, 10,000 pieces of every aircraft is made by China, shipped to America, sold back to China. So it have problems will create. So what we're trying to say to the government is, all the governments around the world, we put a technology in that you can make it in your own house. You don't need to do, you don't need the Americans. Technology is here. And we have positioned this exhibition in a where all the embassies, majority of the embassies are concentrated. Ambassadors will come and see, world leaders will come and see. I was having a breakfast with 2 powerful diplomats in the past few days. And one said to me, "You're going to screw up everything, Mehran." I said, he went through his papers. One of them says, "You went to Iran 15 years ago. Why didn't you do it then?" I said, "How do you know?" He says, "I have the history of your life in front of me. I had to bring it because they gave it to me." He says, "I have a meeting with him. They said, know what he's doing, but I already know you for years." I said, it wasn't the time. Now is the time. Money for 8,000 aircrafts, $100 million each, can be spent in the country, be it Africa, be it China, be it South Africa, anywhere. This tariff game has brought new opportunities, and we're jumping on it to see how far we can take it, how much we can run it. And we have all the financial structures to do such a thing. For the world to accept the new technology is set. You helped us to do it. You have set it up, and now it's time to bring it home. The problem is, Airbus cannot meet this demand, because to build the aircraft hangar, to make another 8,000, in its billions of investment, the Europeans don't have the money. Introduce a new technology, let them invest in it and stop bothering the other one with the 8,000 jobs, or what they call 8,000 aircrafts. But give it to all the world leaders, all the governments. The position is getting made for things to happen, and we have to do that. We have to grasp that opportunity. And one tariff war can open the space technology if it's handled the right way, and if we have the right people understanding the whole position right across the world. Would you buy 200 million aircraft carrier where you can make in your own home for maybe less than $10,000? That still needs a jet fuel, it still needs runway, it still needs all the things which goes with it. That takes 16 hours from Washington to Beijing or whatever. This will take you 10 minutes. It's time to break the barriers. And I'm trying to get Keshe Foundation to all the things we've done before to that point in the next few months and few weeks. The longer this world tariff game between China and US pushes, the better it is for new technologies, and not just ours, with those who can bring the chip. Light, fuel, food. And what we see with the African nation, with this young boy, how he's changing the dimension. It's time for us to move back into Africa to bring the new technologies to allow them to build the next cycle. And as you have seen, if you're knowledge seekers, and you know what I'm talking about, we have made the groundwork to break into Africa directly in the diplomatic goal. In the political way, directly into. These are the people who invested for years before the Keshe Foundation. And now is to bring the results in. And we'll see. We'll see how much we can bring in. Somebody put the name up. So exactly which nation we're talking about. The leadership in that position, plus how the movement in Africa has taken its time to give that chance to Africans to do what they can do because they have the raw material to do it. This young chap in the country has brought a lot of changes to the nation. For the nation, it cannot be robbed anymore. And other Africans who've been robbing, and now they're looking at and see what it is, how it matches. Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Seventh Star has a couple of more questions in the chat in YouTube. Says, when monks chant to create harmony, are they unconsciously tuning the room's plasma field? And why do sacred sites have stronger plasma activity? Did the builders know, or does reverence itself charge the space?
Oh, there are many reasons for this. Many, many reasons. Many, many reasons. It's not just we put emotions into it. The sound is another factor. What it creates in the dimension of emotion, what we create into what the strength and what it does, and how we abuse it, how we use it, and what frequency what gives what. That's all it is with this processes as you chanting, is the frequency which creates, and if you find the right frequency, it's like what we talked a few weeks ago about the bells in the churches. The monks use the same kind of. If you've been to some of these, what you call, sophisticated sauna places, they use this. When you go to some of these sauna places for what we call real experience of the stressing, they use it's like a monk plate with a hammer, and they create a frequency which they literally pass it over your body. You feel the vibration of the plate on your body, and you feel the change after it. It's it has to be done a certain time in the cycle of when they massage. Then the body is relaxed and accepts the frequency. It's very, there are not many, what do you call it, some of the places which do this, but it has a very effect because the muscle is, you're in a relaxed position, in a receptacle position, and they use is exactly what you use in the temples when you hammer it on the monks too, but they rub that vibration on your skin and you literally feel it, especially when they put it on the heart. It creates a matching feeling. It's an amazing experience. And then you don't need so much, because if they put it into the back of the head, which touches the back of the skull, you feel the change in emotion. And it brings you to tears sometimes, because it's exactly what the voice of the monks do with the dong, and what they hit. It tunes into emotion. And how it affects you with that type of what you call vibration. So when they chant, they create that vibration for themselves. And then they tune it, dong, and then you hear it. The first time I saw this to be done in a very professional way was in a monastery in Scotland years ago. And I said, that's what they got those. They actually tune themselves with their own voice for receiving, or a lot of other things. And when I saw it again in temples in China a few years ago, it was a affirmation of exactly what happens. So if you see it and understand the science behind it, yes. They literally tune themselves. They literally, with different vibrations, frequencies they create, they stimulate certain part of the emotions in the body. And you have a question.
Omid in the Q&A says, Rick, please read my below question. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Is it in a simple CO2 reactor, the direction of electrons shaking and magnetic plasma in the communication wire between the nanocopper and zinc electrodes to one side? It's not quite clear.
What?
The question's not quite clear, I think. But as far as I can determine, he's wondering about the direction of flow between the nanocopper electrode and the zinc electrode through the wire, through the connecting wire. Are there...
First of all, the connecting wire should be a nano-coated. And then you work in a plasma condition. And usually, the depends how you arrange it. Use as a cathode or as anode. It's just it depends what you want from the system, what do you expect from the system, and then you decide the vibration. Do you want to produce higher order in the gravitational? You want to create lower order in magnetical. There's a lot of tricks into making gases and how you nano-coat your material. A lot of tricks. But unfortunately, knowledge seekers, hardly any of them explore this opportunity of learning all of it. This is one of the reasons I stopped teaching making things. Because monkey see, monkey does, but monkey doesn't understand what he's doing. And there's much more in art of nano-coating than in gas production, because nano-coating is the basis how you benefit from what you produce in gases. And a lot of people are not aware of it. They just go in the nano-coated foot and they go and, oh no, it's black, so it is. I said many times when we made that energy unit, dynamic unit, which we showed as the energy power unit, the last unit we made in Belgium. It took me 2 months to nano-code this thing. 2 months. Because how you do the way you do and what do you expect from it. Daniel?
Antonio's got a question in the Q&A. Says, Mr. Keshe, my question is the statement used many times that we have to crawl before we walk. So would it be better for humanity to crawl with UFO crafts than to walk later with transmutation? If you understand, we may need to get used to one thing before leaping. Thank you, and wishing for a bright future.
You have the option of both. They have the option of both. We have both options. I was sitting with the head of electrical engineering department, a professor in Ghent University years ago. I used to do a lot of work in Ghent University research. We, after a lot of work on production, he actually used the system in his house. The first power supply of the Keshe Foundation. He said, "Oh, do you know how much I save in the house?" I said, "Don't tell anybody about it." He said, "We want to make this car flying, a flying car." He said, "Mehran, you cannot fly because a lot of people don't like to fly with them to get in a fly car." I said, "So what's the option?" He says, "Come on, in another department, I was spoken with the other professors, we've done the work." So he said, "The minimum weight is 200 kilograms. I said, "Why do you have to give a minimum weight to it?" He said, "Below 200 kilograms, the crosswind will take it. And old people, and people who are not so sure of themselves, don't like to be shaken. Young people try it. But so you have to adjust your reactors, not to go to zero as you're going, go to 200 kilograms. I said, "You know, this is another problem. How are we going to do 4 of them?" He says, "We make the synchronizers for it. Don't worry about it." I said, "Well, how are we going to synchronize the plasmas at that time?" We have to have an option of both. We cannot slow one lot because the other ones don't like it and they're too slow. We cannot live with the fear of the others. And that can create a lot of things. So we have to do both at the same time. Not to live out of the fear, or don't let fear of the others to stop us to do what we want to do. In 1990s, early 1990s, I had offices in Almaty in Moscow, and we worked with the government of Nazarbayev very openly. And the minister told me, "Mehran, can you go to such a district? There is something to do." And I said, "Yes." He said, "You go with this guy. He knows the district, he'll do it." Okay. He was supposed to book us, a group of entourage of people, to go to this district. And he told me, such and such a time, they pick you up, we go to trains. I said, "How come there's such a far district in Russia?" I said, no, we can only go by train. We sat in a train, God knows how many hours, 12 hours, 18 hours, the whole night we run the train. We had cooks, chefs, bodyguards, everything was set for us for dinner and everything else. We got to the destination. I was literally, I slept beautifully in the train. I said to one of our assistants, I said, "Is there any way we can go back without this? Is there a flight available?" He said, "Yes, there is always flight, 2 or 3 a day." I said, "Why did you come with the donkey with the train?" He said, "The guy's afraid of flying. So he's brought all of us because he's afraid we have to go with the donkey with the train. The flights are there." I called the minister. I said, "Hey, I'm not coming back in." He said, "What do you mean by train?" I said, "The guy took us by a train." He said, "Go to the airport. There's a flight. We block it till you get there. I went to the airport with our group. They literally drag people out of the plane. They put us on the plane, says, you go home. I said to the guy, you get the train, you can come home. You don't fly. No, he has to come. They made him drunk. He didn't know where he was. They put him on the plane with us. We took him back to Almaty. For one man, a group of 10 economists and the rest had to stay in the train. We cannot do that. We have to provide both. It's man's decision. We have to do both. Gravitational and physical system. You decide. If you're aware of it, your UFO gets stuck on the planet to do bye-bye. Or, you know, you have option with the dimension of plasma and energy, you take off till you land where you should land and get another UFO to have some more fun. Any other question?
We have a couple more questions here. We also have a hand up with Katja. Would you like to go ahead, please? Katja, I believe if your hand is up deliberately, that is, you should be able to open your microphone there.
Hi everyone. Sorry, it was by accident in my pocket.
Oh, well, they say nothing's by accident. Do you have a question while you're here or something you'd like to say?
I'm overwhelmed about this technology who was shown with the production of CO2 in 2018. And I'm still waiting for the change that happens. That everyone lives in peace without killing.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Switzerland.
I know, but people have to know where you're calling from.
Okay.
You see, Swiss have a lot of telephones in every pocket and they don't know which one turns on. Thank you very much. You know, Switzerland, accordingly, is the only nation that says we pay every citizen 2,000 euro or whatever Swiss francs per month, and they refuse it, says we don't need the money from the government. A few years ago, they passed, people refused to take money from the government because they're all so rich, and they want the nation become richer. They carry 2 or 3 telephones in their pocket. Thank you very much. Any other question, or shall we call it a day?
There's a couple of other questions, but mostly from Seventh Star, who's already asked several questions and gone beyond their 2-question limit that we normally have. So I think we're good, Mr. Keshe, and people that have questions that we haven't answered, you just carry it over to next week and we can address it then.
Thank you very much. Those of you who join us on Monday, please make sure, if you haven't received, you know the 7 people who you are, please get in touch with the, what do you call it, what you usually communicate with, that you haven't received it. If it's stuck in the customs or whatever, we have to know that we reorganize it, because the process has to carry on. And please follow the instruction, how to use it, and don't panic if you move it and something happens in the way that to do. Do not use your cosmic ray bundles, do not use your head units, nothing. This time is you and us, and we want to know how much we can get you, where you can go on your own. On the other hand, watch the Keshe Foundation chats, and when you receive it, pass it on around the world, that where, if we decide and everything goes okay, we will show the new technology to bring the first step of change. And as I always said, to do these things, it costs a lot of money. We don't go out, we don't borrow. Help us to bring that position. And we need a lot of support to be able to run our structure of the, what do you call it, technological development. Some of you helped us greatly in the past couple of weeks. You make a lot of change, but we need to get that we don't become dependent on the others, then they influence what we do and how we operate. We had this in the past, even 24 hours. People who try technology without understanding it because they think they're going to bring in somebody, they're dictating to us, this is what you do, this is what we do, you have no say in this. I said, goodbye. 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I said, it doesn't fit me because I have a commitment to knowledge seekers, not to you. Thank you very much. And I hope we can see the change to bring the change. See you next week. And thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much.
I'll just, there was a wish from the Universal Council that I'll share before we wrap up here. And it goes like this. This is the Thursday wish. They have different wish for each day of the week. And that's continuing for the next while. We, the Universal Council, wish that as everyone elevates, they learn to add their energy to the planetary peace and prosperity. I am present. Now, we might have a minute of silence as I play the end video, because I don't think I'm going to try to play the sound just through my microphone. It might be a bit muted, but so be it. And before that, let me just make the announcement for, well, first of all, thank you everyone for being here for the 587th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 24th, 2025. And our next public teaching workshop is the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, which will be on Tuesday, April 29th coming up. And that starts at the 4 p.m. Central European Summertime. All right, and I think that's it for today. We usually go out with the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version, but we may not have the music come through very good, as I explained. In that case, consider it a minute of silence for completing some wish you might have. Okay, bye everyone. See you next time around.